What's going on, guys? I'm back here today with a classic. One of your favorites of mine, the full-size PTR 91, otherwise known as the G3. Alright guys, so if you followed me for a long time, you would have seen my G3K clone that I built. That was a PTR model as well. Since discontinued, they don't make that model anymore. But here we are finally on the channel with a full-size PTR 91 or G3. So this is the full-size 18-inch barrel. This is the GI model. So the classic green, foliage green, but that also means this is classic. So this is the non-railed version that most people probably would like or buy because it's obviously more versatile for you to mount some sort of scope or optic to. But I really wanted to keep this one classic and just iron sights, man. These HK style, or the traditional HK sights that are on these guns are really, really nice. If you've not really had a chance to shoot with the diopter sights on an MP5 or a G3, anything like this, you really should give it a try because there's a lot of adjustment there. They're really accurate. It's just a really great sighting system that HK came up with years ago. So I went with the GI model because if I actually wanted to put some sort of scope on it, I could go with the crazy old school claw mount and put some sort of red dot or optic or some sort of scope adapter on it to do that. Or I could just go way retro and get some sort of really old style scope that actually mounts with the claw. Anyway, this is just a really fun gun and something that you should have in your inventory if you're into just very iconic firearms of history. The G3 is a weapon that's been used all over the world for many years, many decades, and it just stands the test of time. This is something that is robustly built. HK, PTR bringing them back to life. It's something that is worth the investment, and they're not that expensive. So what we're gonna do today on this thing is we're gonna stretch it out a little bit, try to take it out to 100 yards, because this thing with the 18-inch barrel, optimized for that 308 or 7.62x51, yeah, it has the different sight settings, like the open notch and the #1, which gives you that close-up, quick target acquisition sight picture. But we're gonna stretch it out. I'm gonna take it out to 100 and see how well these sights are dialed in just from the factory. See how it goes. All right, guys, so I got my phone set up at my 100-yard target. Hopefully, I don't hit it. I'm gonna take a couple shots here and just see where it's at. One thing I like about G3s is that, really nobody makes the mags anymore. So they're all surplus. So when you get mags, you never know what year they're coming from, but it says it on the mag. So with this rifle, I got 2 mags, and this one here is May of 63, and my other one was something of 95. So it's pretty cool that all these mags they're all that I've seen HK stamped, and this one you can see here, it's going to focus on it, is HK, and it says 1963, 563. It's got the serial number on it and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. So what has this mag seen in the past 50 years? Who knows? Something else cool about these is the old school retro metal housing and grip that they're using on this. So it is safe semi and full auto marked, and it will hit all 3 positions, but of course it is only semi-auto. So let's run it and see how she does. Change the diopter here. #2. Couldn't really tell. It's too far away for me to really see. All right, so 18 and 20-inch barrels for a 308, perfect. Perfect for long range stuff. That G3, that battle rifle, set it up, you can get out there. Be honest with you, I had this piece of cardboard set up at 100 and I could barely see it in my sights. had a little shadow on my front blade. I had it in the general area. I could see the thing, but how close I was getting, I'm not sure. It looks like, well, how about that? Look at that. All right, so I got one dead center bull, one a little high, one off to the left. So I hit 3 out of 4 first shots out of the PTR 91, the GI model. Classic, old school, no nothing fancy. Bullseye, a little high, a little left, at 100 yards with no scope, open sights. That's saying something right there. That is definitely saying something, because even using sight diopter, the aperture number 2, it's still a little bigger. So when you look through the number 2, it's still just the full circle and you can see the front blade. Now, if I'd have took it down to 4, then I have a much more pinpoint sight. But still at 100 yards, 100 yards. Look at that. That is, for barely being able to see what I was shooting at as far as getting in the bullseye, but just having the front post covering the cardboard, that's something. Guys, I was really surprised how well that target looked. First 4 shots out of this rifle, on target, 3 of them, 1 miss, but 1 bullseye. And that was with the number 2. So if I'd have used number 4, I could have been a little more pinpoint, because number 4 is going to be that, better for distance as opposed to being wide open, for more closer encounters sort of stuff. So right now I got a target set about 35, 40 yards. I'm gonna run it on number 1, which is basically wide open. It's the wide open cut. So that's like very short distances. I could probably still get away with number 2, which I had on the last one, because number 2 is still pretty big. But I'll use number 1. Have some fun. Do a mag change, running my HRT kit in M81, because you got an M81 the world. We'll do a little mag change here. I got my separate mag in here, ready to go. This kit isn't set up for 308, but I'm just running it in the open pouch instead of an actual holder, so it'll still work. Here we go. When you don't shoot 308 for a while, you forget how much it thumps. Wasn't leaning into it enough, so I found myself just a little off balance on those follow-up shots. So we'll see what the target looks like, mark off any hits I have. We'll run it again, see if I can get a little more sturdy behind the big girl. It was 5 shots, 3 mag change 2, and I got them all on target. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all on target. Now that could be me just yanking them again. Like I was saying, I wasn't just used to the recoil of the 308. Been a hot minute since I shot 308, but it could be that the sights are just a hair off to the left. If that is the case, off camera at some point, I'll just, check that and confirm for sure. But even if it is off and it wasn't just me yanking them because I was just yanking it, those diopter sights, those HK sights are really easy to adjust for elevation and windage. All right, so I felt better about that round. Let's see what the paper looks like. Tell you, man, I'm getting more disappointed with these earmuffs. Even though they're low pro, I just, trying to get that good cheek weld. It's just, you can't with these. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. Looks like I missed 2 somewhere. So I got here 1, 2, 3. Don't know. So here we are again. Now I'm doing quick shots. I felt like my recoil management was good, but I wasn't like taking the time to try to have a precise shot. So recoil management was good, but I was really just getting that front post to settle back on the cardboard, not necessarily the bullseye, because those front blades are big, and I was using the number 2 diopter, which makes, you get a lot of visual in through there. I didn't really, you can't be pinpoint there. So it's a battle rifle, right? G3 battle rifle, 18-inch, meant for further shots, but you can certainly bring it in close. So you have to really get behind the diopter sights to get an idea of what you're looking at, but just imagine, so the number 1 setting is a V. So when you look at it, it's just a lot of everything and the front post you want to line up. Number 2 is basically almost like a ghost ring sight like you would have on a shotgun. You have the big circle and then you have the post in front of it. So you still get a lot of everything and the post. And then it gets smaller as you go down or up to 3 and 4. So really what I'm doing is I'm in there, I'm hitting recoil, bang, drop it down, bang, drop it down, bang. And you pull some, but 3 of the 5 shots were on the cardboard. I would say that's a little narrower than, a person. So even with those semi-quick shots, still on target. 308 is not something I'm used to shooting a lot with. You got to practice with what you're shooting, or you're not going to be efficient, you're not going to be good. So all right guys, there's really not a whole lot more to say about the PTR 91 GI, the classic retro gun you should have in your collection. PTR really did a great job with these. I mean, just in the little bit of shooting I did here today, I mean, it's on enough for a battle rifle. It's a battle rifle when it's all said and done. These things have a long, illustrious history in the firearms world. It's something to have. I recommend having something like this in your collection. Can't beat the roller delay, can't beat the full-size G3. All right guys, don't forget Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. See you next time.